Hey everyone, welcome back to Quiet Wealth Lab. Today we're diving into something that could genuinely change your financial future, how to make your savings actually work for you, instead of just sitting there losing value. Whether you're just getting started or you've been saving for a while, this video is going to give you a clear, practical roadmap. Let's get into it. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't think about. If your savings are sitting in a regular bank account earning 0.01% interest, and inflation is running at 3 to 5% per year, you're actually losing about 3% of your purchasing power every single year. That means the money you worked hard to save is quietly shrinking, and the longer it sits there, the more you lose. So the question isn't whether you can afford to invest your savings, it's whether you can afford not to. So what does it actually mean to make your savings work for you? It comes down to three things. First, you need your money earning returns that beat inflation. Second, you need to match each dollar to the right place depending on when you'll need it. And third, you need to give your money time, because compound growth is the most powerful wealth-building tool available to anyone. Let me show you what compound interest looks like in practice. If you invest just $10,000 one time at a 7% annual return, which is roughly the historical average for a diversified stock portfolio, after 30 years, that $10,000 becomes over $43,000. That's more than 4 times your original investment, and you never added another dollar. This is why starting early matters so much. Time is literally money when it comes to compounding. The simplest first step you can take is opening a high-yield savings account. These accounts currently pay around 4 to 5% APY, compared to the 0.01% you'd get at a traditional bank. They're FDIC insured. So your money is protected up to $250,000. There's no lockup period, so you can access your money whenever you need it. This is the perfect place for your emergency fund and any money you'll need within the next year. It takes about 10 minutes to set one up online. Next, let's talk about certificates of deposit, or CDs. A 400 locks your money in for a set period, anywhere from 3 months to 5 years, and in return, you get a guaranteed interest rate. The smart move here is what's called a 400 ladder. Instead of putting all your money into one CD, you split it across multiple terms. As each one matures, you reinvest at whatever the best rate is at that time. This gives you regular access to portions of your money while still earning higher yields than a regular savings account. Keep in mind these rates are illustrative. Always check current rates before you commit. Money market accounts are an interesting hybrid. They give you higher interest rates than a regular savings account, typically 3.5 to 4.5%. but with more flexibility than a 400. Many come with check-writing ability and a debit card, so you can access your money more easily. The trade-off is they usually require a higher minimum balance, anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000. Think of these as the best of both worlds between savings and checking. You earn more while keeping your money accessible. Now let's move into the investing side. Index funds and ETFs are one of the best wealth-building tools available to everyday investors. They track a broad market index like the S&P 500, which has averaged about 10% annual returns over the long term. The fees are incredibly low. We're talking 0.03 to 0.2%. And you get instant diversification across hundreds of companies with a single purchase. The key here is the time horizon. This money should be money you won't need for at least 5 years. And remember, past returns don't guarantee future results, but history strongly favors the patient, long-term investor. Bonds and treasury securities are the stability anchor in your portfolio. Treasury bonds are backed by the government, making them virtually risk-free. I-bonds are especially interesting because they adjust for inflation. Corporate bonds pay higher yields, typically 5 to 7%, but come with slightly more risk. And if you're just getting started, bond funds give you a diversified basket of bonds in a single, easy purchase. Think of bonds as the part of your portfolio that lets you sleep at night, while your index funds do the heavy lifting for growth. So how should you actually split your money across all these options? Here's a practical framework to start with. Put about 25% into your emergency fund. That's 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account. Another 20% goes towards short-term goals like a vacation, a car, or a down payment. About 35% should go into index funds and ETFs for long-term wealth building, and the remaining 20% into bonds and CDs for stability. Now, these percentages aren't one-size-fits-all. Adjust based on your age, goals, and risk tolerance. But this gives you a solid starting point. Now, everything we've covered so far uses conventional financial instruments. But if you follow Islamic finance principles, you might be wondering, can I still make my savings work for me while staying Sharia-compliant? The answer is absolutely yes. Halal investing is built on 3 core principles. First, no riba. That means no interest. In Islamic finance, money shouldn't make money from money. Returns need to come from real economic activity, real trade, real assets. Second, your investments can't be in haram industries. That means avoiding companies involved in alcohol, gambling, tobacco, weapons, and a few other prohibited sectors. And third, there has to be genuine risk and profit sharing. Both the investor and the entrepreneur share in the gains and the losses. It's about partnership, not exploitation. Not exploitation. These principles aren't just religious guidelines. They actually promote more ethical, asset-backed, and transparent investing. So let's look at the actual halal alternatives you can use. On the savings and fixed income side, Islamic savings accounts work on a profit-sharing model instead of interest. And yes, FDIC-insured options do exist. Sukuk are the Islamic equivalent of bonds. They're asset-backed certificates that generate returns from real assets, not from debt or interest. And murabaha is a cost-plus financing structure where the bank buys an asset and resells it to you at a transparent, agreed-upon markup, no hidden interest involved. On the equity and growth side, there are now halal ETFs and index funds from providers like SPI funds and WAD that screen out non-compliant companies. Halal rights let you invest in real estate that's been vetted for Sharia compliance. You're owning tangible assets. And of course, gold and commodities are inherently halal as physical assets and have been a traditional store of value for centuries. The key takeaway here is that you don't have to choose between your faith and your financial growth. These vehicles let you do both. Just make sure to consult a qualified Islamic finance advisor to verify compliance for your specific situation. Before you invest a single dollar anywhere, you need to build your emergency fund first. This is your financial safety net, and without it, one unexpected expense could derail everything. Here's how to do it in 4 simple steps. Step 1. Calculate your monthly essential expenses. Rent, utilities, food, insurance, minimum debt payments. Step 2. Multiply that number by 3 for a minimum fund, or 6 for an ideal one. Step 3. Open a high-yield savings account specifically for this money. And Step 4. Set up automatic transfers so the money builds itself without you having to think about it. Let's talk about some common mistakes I see people make. First, keeping all your savings in a regular checking account earning basically nothing. Second, investing money you're going to need within the next year. That's too short a time horizon for the stock market. Third, trying to time the market. Jumping in and out based on headlines almost always loses to just staying the course. Fourth, ignoring fees. Even small percentages compound over time and can eat thousands from your returns. And fifth, and this is the biggest one, not starting because you think you don't have enough. You don't need thousands to begin. You can start with $50 or $100. The point is to start. All right, here's your action plan for the next 30 days. Week 1 is about getting organized. Review every bank account you have, calculate your monthly expenses, and identify any cash that's just sitting idle. Week 2, open a high-yield savings account and move your emergency fund there. Set up automatic transfers. Week 3, start researching. Look into index fund options, compare 400 rates, and honestly assess your risk tolerance. And Week 4, make your first investment, even if it's small. Set up recurring contributions and start tracking your progress. Small steps, done consistently, build extraordinary wealth over time. That's a wrap for today. Remember, your money should work as hard as you do. Start small, stay consistent, and let time and compound growth do the heavy lifting. If you found this valuable, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's the first step you're going to take this week? I'll see you in the next one. Stay quiet, build wealth.